Hello and welcome to my tutorial on how to simplify fractions. We're going to start with a pretty easy one, 4 over 12. So we want to find out what 4 over 12 is equal to in the most simplest form we can. So the way I like to think about it is I take the top number, 4, and the 12, the bottom number. I draw a little squiggly line just to make sure that I don't forget that this isn't another new fraction. This is just a way to remember what we're doing. So for 4, we need to find all the different things that multiply together to get 4. First one, obvious one, 1 times 4. The next one, 2 times 2. Nothing else equals 4. And you can check by going 3 times what equals 4? Well, we don't know. There's no whole number that does that, so we can't do it. And then 4 times 1, so then we've repeated. So now we know that those are the only two combinations. Okay, now looking at 12. 1 times 12, that's the easy one. And then I go up after 1. So the next number after 1 is 2, and I think about 2. 2 times what equals 12? Does anything work? I keep thinking about it until I find something, or I've exhausted all my options from 2 to 12. So I go 2 times 2, no, that doesn't work. 2 times 3, no, that doesn't work. 2 times 4, no, that doesn't work. 2 times 5, no. 2 times 6, that works. Now I know whatever my next number is needs to be less than 6. So I'm going to start by writing in 3. 3 times, that's the next number, 1, 2, 3. So 3 times what? 3 times 3? No, that equals 9. 3 times 4? If we write that down, that equals 12. Yes, so that's correct. And now 4, well, 4 times 3, yes. So the only other number we can check is 5. 5 times 1 doesn't work. It's 5. 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 3 is 15. So that doesn't work. So those are our only combinations. Okay. So now we know those are our only combinations. We're going to circle the biggest number that's the same. So we can see that the 1 is the same, right? We can see that the 2 is the same. And we can see that the 4 is the same. Which is the biggest out of these three? 1, 2, or 4? Well, you're right. It is the 4. Okay, so we're going to circle the 4. 1, 4, 2, 4. So we're doing this because what we can do is we can go on the left side here. 4 divided by 4 equals, what does it equal? Well, the leftover 1. And in this case, it's a 1. And on this side, we can go 12 divided by 4. Because that 4 is our circled number, so that's the number we're going to divide by each number. So 12 divided by 4, and it's the leftover number, so it's the 3. Okay, and if you think about it, that's correct. But it's nice to have the multiplication here, because then we don't even need to think about division anymore. So 1 and 3. So now we look over here, and since we had the 4 on top before, right here, we had the 4 on top, we're going to put the number that we got from 4 on top. So 1 over, and now we're going to put the number that we got from the 12, this 3, on the bottom. So 4 twelfths equals 1/3. And this method will work every time for every fraction, assuming that you actually checked all of these multiplication options and found them all out. Okay, the other option I showed you in class is I used folded paper. So I'm going to show you a chart that looks the same as the folded paper. Basically, we folded the paper into 12 equal sections. So if you, what did we have? 4 over 12. If we find 4 over 12, let's highlight it. 4 over 12, then we can just go down our column in the fold, and we can find whatever our lowest number is in that. So our lowest number is 1/3. So that would be our answer. Look up here. Is that 1/3? Yes, it is. So our chart is nice because it can help us do things quickly, but it's not so nice because it limits us to only fractions that are over 12, right? So we can't go any higher than that with our chart. But what if you made a bigger chart? Could you go higher? Well, surely you could. So you can use the chart method, but it takes a long time, and it doesn't work all the time. So let me show you another number. So these numbers correspond to these numbers in the chart, and they work. So I can keep going with my chart, and these are 24ths now. So 2 24ths are the same as 1/12. So I could keep going, but we're going to ignore that, and we're going to try a little bit harder of a question. We're going to do it the same way again with the finding the multiplication tables. Okay, 16 over 24. What does that equal? Let's try it again. 16, squiggle, squiggle. 24, squiggle, squiggle. Underneath the 16, what's the easy number we can always get? 1 times whatever it was, 16. And same with the 24. And I always start just going 1, 2, 3, 4 until I run out. So 1, 2. 2 times what equals 16? 8. 3. 3 times what equals 16? Oh, doesn't work. So then I'll erase that. 4. 4 times what equals 16? 4 times 4. And since this number is the same size as this number, I can stop. Or if it were smaller, I could also stop. Okay. We're going to go on to the 24s. 2 times what equals 24? 12. 3. 3 times 8 equals 24. 4 times 6 equals 24. And the only other number between 4 and 6 is 5. So 5 times anything? Nope. So we have to stop there. Okay? So 5 times 5 equals 25. So gone over, so we know we can stop. Okay, those are all of our options, all of our numbers. So we're going to look at the highest common number. If you want, you can look at all the numbers first. What are all the common numbers? You can always just ignore the fact that ones are the same, because they're always going to be the same. Okay? So ignore ones from now on. Twos? Oh yeah, they're the same. Fours? Oh yeah, they're the same. Hey, that's looking pretty good. Do you think we're done? Nope, because there's one other number. The 8. So 8s are the same. So 8's the biggest number. Looking over on the left side, we have 16 is the only number bigger than 8, and 16 isn't on the right. Okay. So we're going to circle the 8s. 1 8 here, 1 8 here, which means that 16 divided by 8 equals the number that's left over, which is the 2. Oops. Which is the 2. And for the 24, 24 divided by 8, the number left over is the 3, right here. Right? Okay. So now all we have to do is actually write it in our fraction form. So 16 was on top, right? On top here. And we've got 16 here. So what did the 16 equal? 2. And what did the 24 equal? 3. And we are done. And that is how you can simplify fractions to the simplest form every time.